Welcome students. In the wastewater management, the first unit we saw about the process water in different industries, right? Quality and quantity of water, and we saw what are the water that is required for different industries, right? In this unit will go for the different treatment methods of the water. Okay. So the treatment methods, and we will go what is the advanced treatment, what is the use of municipal wastewater in the industries that we will do. So what is the main thing is the wastewater treatment consists of applying known technology to improve or upgrade the quality of the wastewater. Okay, so there will be even filtration, sedimentation, small things also coming under this to improve the quality or the quantity, that is upgrade the quality of the wastewater. So what is the main objective of the wastewater treatment is that to allow human and industrial effluents to be disposed of without danger to human health or unacceptable damage to the natural environment. So it should not cause any damage to the natural environment, it should not cause any damage to the human health. That is why we are going in for the treatment of the water. Both either a municipal wastewater or we are going in for the industrial wastewater. So conventional wastewater treatment consists of a combination of physical, chemical and biological process and operation to improve solids, organic and sometimes nutrients from the wastewater. Okay, so the treatment, they have the treatment for solids in the wastewater or organics or inorganic substances, and it is based on the physical characteristics, chemical characteristics and biological characteristics of the wastewater. Okay, so here in this we will be seeing about what are the primary terms that we will be using in the treatment of wastewater, and we will use what is the advanced method, and we go for preliminary treatment, primary treatment and tertiary treatment, or we call it as tertiary or advanced treatment wastewater treatment. So this is the characteristics of wastewater. Coming to the physical characteristics, turbidity, that is we call it as hardness. Okay, hardness, color, odor, total solids and temperature. Coming to the chemical characteristics, COD, BOD, that is the BOD comes under the biological treatment, this is chemical treatment, total organic hormone, nitrogen, phosphorus, chloride, sulfates, alkalinity, pH, heavy metals, trace elements, priority pollutants, all comes under the chemical characteristics. Coming to the biological characteristics, biochemical demand, that is BOD, oxygen required for nitrification and microbial populations, all this comes under the biological characteristics. These are the characteristics of the wastewater. So this wastewater, already we have seen turbidity, color, odor and total solids and temperature, and biological characteristics, it is by BOD, oxygen needed for nitrification and microbial parameters, and chemical oxygen demand, COD, total organic compound, nitrogen, phosphorus, chloride, sulfates, alkalinity, pH and trace elements and heavy metals. So determine the above wastewater, that is characteristics, and to treat for the various characteristics we will be having some treatment methods, that is preliminary treatment method, secondary treatment method, advanced treatment method we are going to go. But before going in for the treatment, for taking the wastewater for the treatment, we have to get the samples, we have to obtain samples physically and must be undergone the characterization studies to know what it is there before going for the treatment. So that process we call it as the sampling process. Sampling process is the process used to select a small portion of water or wastewater for the purpose of determining the characteristics of the entire batch of the wastewater. So sampling, we are going to take a small portion of the wastewater and we will be taking different test, laboratories test, field test, every test we will be taking to determine the characteristics of the entire batch of water or wastewater. So what is the water treatment? First one, it is preliminary, primary, secondary, tertiary or advanced treatment process. First we will go for the preliminary treatment. So coarse solids like papers may be there, some wood parts will be there, glass will be there, big type of stones, everything will be there. So that we call it as a coarse solids. So these coarse solids and other large materials will be found in the water, and this has to be removed before going to taken into the next treatment, right? So this we call it as a preliminary treatment. So preliminary treatment mostly include coarse screening or bar screens, grit removal, and in some cases we have communitators in order to remove this one. We will see one by one. Either what is a bar screens, what is a commutator, what is a grit chamber. So bar screen is a mechanical filter used to remove large objects such as rags and plastics. Okay, it is used to remove large. It will be like having a bar screens like this of larger depth, so which will not allow the water to go through. As you have in the kitchen and all, you have a filter in order not to allow the bigger particles, that is like that of the curry leaves and other, not to go into it, right, and block the pipes. That is one of the example for bar screens. This typically consists of a series of vertical steel bars spaced between 1 and 3 inches apart, right. So this is a bar screen. This is a flow of water. It will be kept in an angle 30 to 60 degrees angle. So when the water is moving like this, the solid particles will be collected here. The remaining wastewater will go in this direction. So this is the plan. This is a section, and you can see this is the diagram. So this is the bar screens. So the particles, you can see here some particles that are held up here, which are coarser particles. Other water will be allowed to move, wastewater. So the next one is bar screens come in many designs. Some are automatic cleaning mechanisms. Nowadays we are going in for automatic cleaning mechanism. So it will automatically clean and remove it. Okay, some must be cleaned manually by means of a heavy rack. So you can see here, this is a rack. We call this as a rack. Okay. So either it comes with a heavy rack or it comes with some motors or chains by which automatically it can be cleaned, or it has to be cleaned like manually like this. Items removed from the implement are called screenings and collected in dumpsters and disposed of landfills or incinerated. Okay, these things are collected. The waste materials, we call it as the screenings, and it will be either dumped in a land or in a waste places, or it will be incinerated. Incinerated means it will be put on fires, right? It will be demolished by fire, made into ash. As a bar screen collects object, the water level will rise, so they must be cleared regularly to prevent overflow. Because if there is a particles that is held, almost the water level will go. Then it will be reduced. So here, in order to avoid the overflow of water, we have to design such that. Next one, it is a commutators. So the commutators are the shredding or screening devices widely used in wastewater treatment plants and pumping stations. Commutators break down wastewater solids in plants and networks and pumps and stations. The equipment gets heavy use and it is a critical part of wastewater treatment plant. So it is a rotating screens, right? So it will be rotating like this. The particles that is coming out will not allow it, and it will be stuck outside. So the water that is moving will go like this, so stirring the smaller particles. The larger particles will be stuck outside the drum. This is called as a commutators. Okay, so it is reduce the size of the larger particles sometimes, and so that it will be crushed into smaller particles, and it will be allowed due to the rotating movement. Or we call it as a whirlpooling movement. The third one, it is the grit. Grit is a heavy mineral material found in raw sewage, and it consists of sand, gravel, silt, broken glass, small fragments of metals and other inorganic solids. So it is, remove all these things, we will have a grit there. So what will happen, we will reduce the velocities, allow the water to flow. So it will automatically, due to the specific gravity variations, it will block the movement of these materials. For examples, these are all removed: eggshells, chips of bones, sand, gravel, silt, everything will be removed. Grit chambers are long narrow tanks that are designed to slow down the flow so that solids such as sand, coffee grounds and eggshells will settle out of water. Grit causes excessive wear and tear on pumps and other plant equipment. So this is the second unit operation in the mainly it is a preliminary, or we even call it as a primary treatment. It is used to remove the suspended inorganic particles such as sandy and gritty material from it. Okay, but we have to avoid the deposition in the pipelines, channels, conduits, reduce the frequency of the digester cleaning. We will go in for this grit chambers. There are two types of grit chamber. One is horizontal, one is aerated grit chamber. So in the horizontal grit chamber, the velocity maintained is 0.3 meter per second, and the permit the heavier grit to settle but carry the organic particles into it. It will maintain a constant velocity of flow, so it will reduce the settlement of the particles, and a control section varies with the cross-sectional area of the flow will have a direct proportion to the flow. You can see here this is a grit chamber. You have a grit like this, so the particles will move slowly, it will settle here and the remaining particles will move. So here a constant velocity will be there. Okay, so slow velocity, constant velocity, and the water will go next to the sedimentation tank, where it will get sedimented for some time being. So the next you can see here also, you can see the influent will be coming here and the effluent will go. So it is a thing, due to the slow movement it will get deposited, the heavy particles will be deposited here and the water body will flow. Next one, aerated grit chamber. It will have the flow of the aerated particles, right? So here you can see here. Standard spiral flow aeration tank provided with air diffusion cylinders is one of the effective type, because there it will remove the particles with the slow, but here it will remove the particles with the help of the aerated movement, right? Circular spiral movement. So the particles tend to settle down to the bottom of the tanks at rates depends upon the particle size and the bottom velocity of the roll of the spiral flow. So it depends upon the velocity of the spiral flow, depending upon the size of the particles, it comes down, right? So most of the spiral flow, the speed that depends upon the rate of the air diffusion that is coming from the diffusion tubes. The lighter organic particles are carried and rolled with the spiral motions. So you can see here, it will come in a spiral motion and it will be slowed down. So here the particles will settle down. So here you can see the grit through and diffusers, it will be of this size and it is allowed to pass. So this diagram clearly shows that this is an air diffuser which will give you a so due to the spiral movement, the grits, everything will be settled here, which will be removed by the another output, and the water will be taken to the next stage. So you can see that is mostly even the aerated grit chamber is of two types. One is this one, diffused water. The next one, it is a vortex water type. The vortex water, it is like a whirling movement, like that of a we are going in for a what you call it as washing machine, right? In washing machine we have a whirlpool movement, right? So that whirlpool movement will be there, by which the this waste materials will come and settle at the bottom. So clean that after settling it, that whether we have to have an outflow pipe or the sludge pipe to create cleaning, or we should have a detention time by which the everything will detain in the bottom and we have to remove manually. That is the two types we can go for. So the preliminary treatment plant, we had baths, screens, communitors, third one we had a grit chambers, hidden grit chambers. Okay, next we will go in for the primary treatment. So the objective of the primary treatment process is the removal of settlable organic and inorganic solids by sedimentation and the removal of materials that will float. Either we remove settlable organic and inorganic solids, or we will be removing the oil or other greasy materials that we will be removing. So this process we will be doing by sedimentation. The removal of this grease and other particles we will be doing it with the help of the skimming process. Okay. So these are the two processes that goes with the primary treatment plant. So in the many industrial countries, primary settlement is the minimum level of pre-application treatment required for the wastewater, and they may be considered sufficient treatment if the wastewater is used to irrigate crops that are not consumed by the human. Once we remove all the inorganic, organic solids, that is by sedimentation solid and also by all the floating materials, many places they are even using directly for irrigating the crops. Further treatment is not necessary. Okay. So by this method, 25 to 50% of BOD, by 50 to 70% of the total dissolved solids, and 65% of the grease and oils will be removed. Okay, some organic nitrogen, organic phosphorus, heavy metals, everything can be removed. That is efficiently by this method. And what is the primary sedimentation? The first one I told you now. Primary sedimentation tank. Either it is a round or it is a rectangular basis, and it will be 3 to 5 meters deep, right? So either it is 5 meters or 3 to 5 meters deep with a hydraulic retention time of 2 to 3 hours. So it will be, the water will be allowed to stay there for 2 to 3 hours minimum in order to have the settlement of the particles. So the settlement of the settled particles or settled waste particles, that we call it as the sludge, right? So that is the settled solids are removed by from the bottom to the sludge removal tanks, or by either by rakes or by scrapping, or taken by the separate things. Okay. So you can see here, here this is the what we call the settlement tank. Here the water is clarifiers and settlers, so it will be allowed. Here it will be, due to this slope, the solid particles come and settle here, which will be removed by the solid outlets or sludge. This will be removed for the sludge, and the remaining water will be taken, and it will be taken for the next process. So this is a rectangular type, this is a circular type. So the next one, it is a skimming tank. Skimming tank is used to remove the oil and grease and the scums, right? So the oil, fat, grease, etc. will be removed by this. Okay. So here we will be allowing the water to flow to it. There will be one chamber will be there which will not allow the water to pass through. So what will happen? This water will go here, and the remaining part, there will be air that is allowed to flow. So the oil and skim will be floating here. So these floating particles will be removed here, and the remaining from the bottom, the particles will be, that is the water will be taken to the next stage. So this is the inlet, the water, everything will be here, and the outlet. Okay. So in that primary treatment, we saw two methods. One is sedimentation tank, which is used to remove the sedimentation process. We remove the sedimented settleable solids like this coarse eggshells, bone scraps. Are we going for this grits, sand? So that is the particles which are able to settle down by reducing the velocity, and retention in the sedimentation is minimum of 2 to 3 hours. Or we removed the grease, fats, oils, etc. by the skimming process in the primary treatment plant. Now we will go for the secondary treatment. So the objective of the secondary treatment is that to remove the residual organics and suspended solids. So what and all dissolved in it also we will be able to remove with the help of the tertiary treatment plant. Here aerobic biological treatment is performed in the presence of oxygen by archonic microorganisms. Principally aerobic microorganisms are used, bacteria are used, and that metabolize the organic matter into the wastewater, and thereby producing more microorganisms and inorganic end products, principally CO2, NH3 and H2O. Common high rate process includes the activated sludge process, trickling filters and rotating biological contractors. So first one we will have activated sludge process, second one we will have trickling filters, or we call it, so many names are there, are biofilters. Third we will have RBC, or we call it as a rotating biological contractors. Okay, mostly they will be having a biofilter and followed by the activated sludge process, which will give you a more efficient thing. So actually the secondary treatment also can be given as a secondary sedimentation process. That is that after the primary sedimentation of the primary thing, the waste materials is taken to the secondary settling tank, where it will be again allowed to settle down. This is one of the other process that comes under the secondary treatment. The next one we will be going for activated sludge process. That is, sludge is activated with the help of the aerobic bacteria. It is an aerobic this process, and dispersed growth reactor is an aeration tank or basin containing the suspension of wastewater and microorganism mixed liquors. Okay, so in this we will have a aerated bacteria added, which will keep the microorganism mixed liquors, and it will have an aeration tank or basin. It will have the suspension of the wastewaters. So the contents of the aeration tanks are mixed vigorously with the help of clarifiers and aeration devices, which also supply oxygen to the biological suspension. So hydraulic retention time in the aeration tanks usually ranges from 3 to 8 hours, but can be higher with higher B. The BOD is higher, then we go for the higher this retention time. Okay, so this is a schematic diagram of the activated sludge process. So here we go for the raw wastewater. We are taking the wastewater from the primary treatment plant to the aeration tank. Here air is given. Here it will be attached with some motors. It will be attached with motors, so that the particles, with the help of vigorously, it will be allowed to mix it well. Then it will be taken to the clarifier and settlers. Clarifiers and settlers, it will be there for 6 to 8 hours, which allow the particles to settle down. After mixing the particles, the sludge will be in a dispersed position, which will be taken next, and it will be allowed to settle down. So the sludge will be removed here, and the remaining water will be again taken and it will be added. Like this, the process will be treated again and again, and the treated water will be taken, or treated wastewater will be taken for the next stage, next treatment process. So the general arrangement of an activated sludge process for removing carbonaceous pollution includes the following term: an aeration tank where air is injected into the mixed liquor. We saw this one now, the aeration tank, where it is mixed with the liquor, and followed by a settling tank. Usually we call it as a secondary settling tank, where we have a clarifier and settler, where the biological flocks will form. What is a flocks? Is that small particles combine together to form a bigger particles. We call it as the flocks, right? And this, thus it is separated, right? The biological sludge from the clear treated water. So this is after the preliminary treatment, we go for the primary clarifier, primary settling tank. This from the primary settling tank, it is taken to the aeration tank. So the air is allowed to move through, which vigorously rotates and allow the sludge to move. So what will happen? Every particles, that is the biological particles, will be in an active stage or in the suspension stage in the aeration tank. So from this aeration tank, it is taken to the secondary clarifier. So the secondary clarifier, it is a clarifier with sedimentation tank. Clarifier with sedimentation tank. So here what will happen, the clarifier and the sedimentation tank, it will be after agitation it will be allowed to here and it will be settled there for 6 to 8 hours. So what happens, all the this solid particles will be settled down in this it will be a slopy bottom, so the sludge particles will be collected in the bottom, which will be taken down for the waste activated sludge. The remaining water will be taken and it will be used again for the aeration tank for the recycling purpose. So after this secondary clarifier, the pure water or the treated water, waste water will be taken for the next process, disinfection, and it will be taken for the final effluent. This is the activated sludge process. The second one, it is the trickling filter, right? We have several names for this trickling filters. Trickling filter, biofilter, biological trickling filters are we often used to call the trickling filter, refer to a trickling filter. So what it is having is a consists of a fixed bed of rocks, coke, gravel, slag, pumice, ceramic or plastic media. Any one type of media will be there. Okay, a coarse particles, coke particles, or we will have a carbon or slag or pumice stones, or we have plastic or ceramics, and over which the wastewater will be allowed to flow in a very slow manner. So what will happen, these particles will allow take the microbial that is microbial slime or the microbial film will be followed, which will not allow the microbiological bacteria in the wastewater to move down. So when the water moves from one layer to another layer, it will at the last it will come as a pure layer. Mostly this process if you have this process, you can easily see in the water treatment plant also. So this is this is having aerobic conditions are maintained in this process, and it is having a packed media bed filters, and also it is attached with attached growth process and fixed filling process. So you can see here, this is one of the trickling filter. It is a very large one. It is having around 20 meters in diameter, right? So here you can see here so many pipes are there, right? Through these pipes the wastewater will be sprinkled, and it is having a carbon, right? Coke here it is filled. So when the water is moving down, so what happens, all the particles, microbiological particles will form a film, and it will be packed in the media and it will not be allowed to move down. So what is that move down will be the treated water. Okay. So mostly the circular wall is often made up of bricks and consists of filter media, which in turn rest on the base and the drains. Okay. So mostly I told you now the diameter of the filter will be around 20 meters and it will be 2 to 3 meters deep. So the next one we'll see one more diagram. So here this is the schematic diagram for the trickling filter. You can see this the water that is there, it will be sprinkled. This will be the media, right? The media may be a coke, mostly the carbon will be there, coke will be there, or stones, or it can be plastics or ceramics. And after moving here, the microbiological, all the particles will be forming a film and it will be blocked by the media, and the clean water will be coming here. So which will be taken, and it will be taken again. If you want to go for a sedimentation and clarifiers, it will be taken and the sludge will be removed and it will be taken for the next process. Mostly this packed media will be cleaned periodically by the backwashing method. You can see here the water that is coming from the porous pipes. The third one, it is the RBC, we call it as a rotating disc biological contactors. It is similar to the fixed reactors, right? So the support media are slowly rotating discs that are partially submerged in the flowing wastewater in the reactor. The rotor units consist of seriously closed space biological inactive discs mounted on the rotating shaft. We can see here, this is the rotating shaft. It is partly it will be submerged in the wastewater, and the rotating packs of disc known as the media are containing in a tank at rotate at 2 to 6 rotation per minute. It will be slowly rotating 2 to 6 rotation per minute. So what will happen? The water will be allowed to flow, and the wastewater, it will be already the wastewater, this allowed to flow in the middle. So all the particles will be attached inside the media, and only the after removing the microorganisms and all the settlable solids, the water that will be coming out and it will be stored in the tank, which can be taken for the next process. So this is used, mostly the media used in RBC is polyethylene, PVC, galvanized steel, asbestos cement and expanded polystyrene. The shaft is aligned with the flow of the wastewater so that the disc rotates at right angles to the flow. Exactly to the flow, it will act as a right angle, and it will be rotating at a speed of 2 to 6 rpm. The diameter usually varies is 1 to 3 meters, and the thickness of disc varies from 100 to 127 mm. That is very thin. It will be, the thickness will be very thin to 4 mm. So the disc spacing will be 3 to 5 centimeter, and the biological film grows and covers the entire available area of the disc. This film absorbs organic pollutants during the submerged period of rotation cycle, and oxygen transfer occurs when the biofilm exposed to atmosphere during the other half rotating cycle. So this RBC will be followed from the secondary settling tank. SST means secondary settling tank or secondary sedimentation tank, where it will be retained for 6 to 8 hours before taking it for the tertiary treatment. Okay, so mostly the activated sludge process will give you the more efficient treatment rather than the other two things. So in today's class we have seen about the preliminary treatment. In preliminary treatment we saw that is the bar screens, commutators, and we saw the grit chambers. Okay. In the primary treatment we saw the sedimentation process, and we saw about the skimming process. Skimming process are used to remove the fats, oils, grease and scrape. And in the secondary treatment we saw activated sludge process, trickling filters, and we saw RBC. Okay, so these are the different treatment of preliminary, primary and secondary treatment. Mostly the secondary treatment, all treatment will be followed by the secondary settling tank, clarifier and sedimentation tanks, where after the secondary treatment the sludge, the wastewater will be retained for 6 to 8 hours before taking it to the next treatment, tertiary or the advanced treatment methods. So the next class we will see about the tertiary or the advanced treatment method. Okay. So next class we will treat about the tertiary treatment method, and thank you.